Hello and welcome to the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is my place on YouTube to talk about all the things I'm making, all the knitty things, all the crochet things, all the crafty things, sometimes things I'm reading, and all the lovely good stuff in life. My name is Ali and I live in Kent in the very southeast of the UK, where it is currently pouring with rain, which is just how I like it. And I live with my husband and our two daughters, and none of them are here. I'm on my own in the house, which is incredible. It's Saturday. My eldest is at drama school and Dan has taken the youngest out to the shops to get some food for later, so that I had a bit of time to film. I should be doing housework, but instead I'm going to sit here for an hour and talk about knitting and crochet, because given the choice, who wouldn't? I've got timestamps and show notes in the description box underneath, so you can check things I'm talking about and jump about if you need to find something or come back later to find a particular thing. And I put all the links and things underneath there as well, and all kinds of interesting things. So make sure you take a look in the description box. And you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali. Although I'm feeling a bit tired of both Instagram and Ravelry at the moment. Oh, that's a bit steamy. By the way, mug of dreams. This was a gift, a birthday gift from my friend Annette in Denmark. It is a bucket, so I've got a bucket of Yorkshire tea here, but that suits me fine because I am tired today and slightly overwhelmed. Well, very overwhelmed. Right, it's too hot. I'll have to come back to it. I am back in my usual podcasting spot in the bedroom, except you'll notice that behind me everything's looking a bit more neat and tidy because the wardrobes are now in. I took a little film actually to show you, so I'll pop that in now so you can see the wardrobes. And in case you don't know, we've been doing our bedroom up and it's been total and utter chaos, and we ripped everything out and then put everything back in again. So we've got built-in wardrobes from shops. And I'm now going through the very lengthy process of working out where everything's going to go in those wardrobes. And I've had a massive sort out of all of my yarn and crafty stuff. So I'm going to talk a little bit about stuff I've found along the way today. But I'll just quickly hop over to me showing you the wardrobes and have a sip of tea. So this is my tripod. And here are the wardrobes just behind where I was sitting. I've still got a ton of stuff that I'm still sorting out. So you can see I've got a box here, paint because I've got a touch up around the fireplace, and bits that are still looking for a home. And then this is the wardrobe out of sight that you can't see, and it's all cut in up there. It's quite hard to show you from this angle, whilst also avoiding showing you all the mess. But, oh, and obviously we've got the carpet still to go in as well, and the skirting boards. So there's still a fair bit to do, but we've done the hard bit. So what do you think? It's still a bit of a mess, and we've still got to get the skirting boards done and the carpet, but we've got so much more space than we did. But yeah, I'm looking forward to everything having its place. I feel happy when everything has its place. And all the rest of the furniture is sorted out, and we've done the curtains and all the, you know, and it's all done, and we've got the pictures up on the wall. Because some bits of furniture that looked okay before we decorated are now looking very tired. Anyway, this is not an interiors podcast, it's a crafty podcast, so let's get stuck in with finished objects. Originally, when I wrote my show notes, I had no finished objects because I've been too absorbed in doing the bedroom, and I've been doing a lot of sketching and drawing and reading about that and doing some sort of courses on YouTube and stuff. So that's been absorbing a lot of my time. But that's a story. That's a story for another day. I talk about sketching a lot on my vloggy channel, This Little Wonderful Life. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, so originally I had no FOs, and then during the clear out where I was pulling out all my yarn, I found some cotton yarn that my same friend Annette, who bought me the mug of dreams, also got me. Where is it? Hang on. It is a cotton, it's one of these kind of dishcloth cotton yarns. It's Premier Home. It's an Aran weight, I think. Doesn't say. Anyway, that's it. It's still got a hook stuck in it. There it is. There's the label. So I had 2 balls of this that focus on me please, thank you, that were a gift. So I decided I was going to make myself a new pot holder because I've made these before and most of them have now kind of worn out quite a bit. So I thought, right, I'm going to make a couple of more pot holders for the kitchen because we use them all the time. So this is the one I made. Now I'm going to try and link the pattern if I can find it, because I thought I'd found the pattern and I was merrily using it until I realised it wasn't the pattern, and then I had to kind of wing it a bit, because it's one of these where you crochet a kind of oblong and you work round and round until eventually you fold it in on itself and then you sew it down this diagonal line here. So if I can find the original pattern I used years ago, I'll link it underneath. It's very, very simple, and then I just added the loop. And my friend Cherie, who has the Ollie and Bella podcast, when I sent her a picture of it, I said, look at my garish new pot holder, I love it. And she said, oh my goodness, it's really 90s, the colours, it looks like Saved by the Bell. I was like, yes, 90s pot holder. So I'm really pleased with it. I'm going to make, this took all but this of one ball. So I've got quite a bit left, enough to make a little scrubby or something. Oh, that's not going to focus. So I'll definitely get another pot holder out of the other ball, and then maybe have enough left to either make a small pot holder or like a dishcloth or a scrubby. So that is my finished object, and I didn't think I was going to have one, so very good. But before I managed to produce a finished object, I was going to do something very clever and say, well, I don't have any finished objects, FOs, but I do have found objects, FOs. Did you see do you see what I'm doing there? Trying to be very clever, which is basically stuff I found when clearing out the wardrobes, which has basically just given me more works in progress to consider. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to talk about my works in progress, but I'm also going to talk about stuff I found during the big yarn clear up of 2021 and explain to you what I'm thinking about them. Oof. So basically, I was determined not to, in my original wardrobe configuration, I had half of, like the bottom half of one wardrobe where I kept all of my yarn and crafty stuff. But it wasn't all there. There was other stuff around the house in bags and stuffed in other places. So what I did when we did the bedroom was I went and got all the crafty stuff, all the yarn from everywhere, and I brought it into the bedroom, and I thought, right, I'm not shoving it back in corners, not knowing what I've got where. I'm going to properly organise it. So I've got all my yarn out, and I've got 3 boxes of yarn in one of the cupboards, and that is all yarn that I know I'm likely to use in the foreseeable future. And all the yarn that I can't see myself using just yet, but will use in the future, which is a lot, I am going to vacuum pack down and put like right at the top of the wardrobes out of the way. But I'm going to take a picture and make a list of everything I've got before I do that. And then there was other things where I was like, well, I don't want to pack it away. I kind of just want to use it now because it's been too long. This is getting ridiculous. And one of those things was this tub of Little French Meadow minis. Now, Little French Meadow are a yarn dyeing company that no longer dye. But when they did dye, I loved them. Alison and Yola. And they were one of the first sort of hand dyed yarn people that I discovered when I first sort of got into knitting and the hand dyed stuff and all of this lovely community. And I signed up to they used to do a monthly mini skiing club, and I signed up to it for a good 2 or 3 years. And some of the minis I got went into different projects, or I used them in little things. And I made a big shawl scarf. Oh, what was it called, that scarf? I love it. It's like a chevron-y thing. Oh, I'll have to look it up and put on the screen what the name of that project was. It will be on my Ravelry. And I did that with an advent that I got for them one year. But I've still got all of these minis left. Some of them are from that advent and most of them are from the mini skiing club. And they're a real mishmash of colours because each month they've had a different theme, but it didn't, so it was a theme for that month, but it wasn't like an overall theme. So they're all really different colours and tonal values, and I'll just give you an example here. And also some of the ones, the lighter kind of ones, went into other projects where lighter, delicate colours were required. So I tend to have some of the stronger, brighter colours. You're going to see a lot of bright blues and greens and yellows in this. So my idea was, and always was with these minis, is to make one project with them. And what I'm thinking is a project I really, really enjoyed making last year, and that was my most worn thing over winter, was the Just Feel Better shawl by Kalisha Ryan. And she's the podcaster behind the Quirky Monday podcast. It's an absolutely lovely, mainly crochet based podcast. And she's a big plant person as well, which is intriguing for me because I kill every plant I look at just about. Terrible at it, but she's really good at it, and crochet too. So she's got a free pattern. It's called the Just Feel Better shawl. I made it out of a Quaint Corner of Craft. Hang on, let me double check this. I would have written it down. Quaint Corner of Craft yarn cake, which is a fully fingering weight acrylic yarn cake in a gradient, so it goes from red to black. It was the red velvet colour I used. It's so soft. It's so lovely. It was a massively long cake. I think, I can't remember how many meters it was, but I just used a whole cake because that's the joy of this pattern as well, is you can just keep going until it's as big as you want to, or until you run out of yarn. And it's such a lovely, it's designed to be a soothing project, you know, that you can work on when you've just had that hell of a day, you've got no energy left, and it's just, I so enjoyed making it, and I've wanted to make another one for quite a while. So I'm thinking I might make one with my little French Meadow minis, but so that it doesn't look too garish and jarring with all the different colours, maybe holding it double with something, like a sip of tea. So I could hold them all double with, say, a neutral type colour. This is an untreated yarn, again, from Annette in Denmark. It's the Annette show today. So I could hold it double with a neutral, or maybe a grey, but I don't have a grey and I don't want to buy any more yarn. Or, because obviously that would make it a DK weight, which I'm worried might make it a bit too bulky for me to wear often. Because one of the things I really love about my original Just Feel Better shawl is just the drape of it, and it just fits so well. I love it. It really is probably one of my most favourite things I've ever crocheted. And then the other idea I had was quite a while ago. I got a lovely gift in the post from a lady called Patricia. She sent me some lovely yarn, and along with it she sent some mohair from her stash that she wasn't going to be using, or I think because she didn't get on with it, I think either with the knitting of it or against her skin. So she sent it on to me. So I don't know why I'm getting all of them out, you don't need to see all of them. Take my word for it, there are 4 cakes of this, or 4 balls of it. It is Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and I've got 4 times 25 grams. So it's obviously very thin. So how many meters is that? Can you hear the wind whistling down the chimney behind me? We've just bought a chimney sheep. Have you heard of those? It's kind of relevant for a podcast about knitting and yarn because it's made of sheep's wool. It says there's a sheep up your chimney. Looks like this. It's made of pure sheep's wool, and you can get them in all different sizes. And it's basically a natural compostable alternative to a balloon that you put up your chimney. So Dan's measured it, and he assures me he's measured it correctly. And later on today we're going to shove this up the chimney. That was a bit of an aside. Anyway, Rowan Kid Silk Haze does not inform me how many meters is in 25 grams. Oh, here we go. It's about 210 meters. So, you know, if I've got 4 of... If I've got 4 of those, then I'm going to have about 800 meters, which might make it a bit shorter than my original one, but that's fine. And I'm thinking maybe I could hold this double with all the minis, and that might sort of soften the colours a bit, but also make it nice and soft and furry. Oh, that is nice and soft. Oh, I like that. So what do you reckon? I think that might be a good use of this yarn and a good use of the minis, and it'll be a project that I really, really love and enjoy. So that's one of my whips in my head. Okay, I'm going to show you an actual whip now, one that already exists. And that is my featherweight cardigan. So I showed you this last time. I am so chuffed with this because this is a knitted project. It's the featherweight. Is it featherweight or featherlight? I can never remember. Let's check it. Featherweight, yeah. Featherweight cardigan by Hannah Fettick, who is Knitbot. And as you can see, my copy is somewhat scribbled on and all over the place. And it is a really simple little cardigan. And I've never made a knitted cardigan before. I've made one knitted garment, which was the As If tee, and I loved that. And I really, really like it. And the choice I made with my As If tee, I was really pleased with, because I chose a colour I knew I would absolutely 100% like to wear, which was like a blue colour. And again, with this one, the yarn, oh my goodness, I've had it in my stash for so long, and I love it. So basically, it's called, I've got 3 different colours in here. I explained my obsession with this yarn in the last episode. It's called Mazikeen. Well, 2 of them are called Mazikeen, and it's by Third Vault Yarns, who's a UK-based dyer, Lola, and she's one of the first, I think one of the first people she might have even been the first person I bought hand-dyed yarn from at my very first knitting festival. I bought Mazikeen and Lucifer, because this is they're based on characters from the TV series Lucifer, and a lot of her, or nearly all of her yarn, in fact. If you can hear that, there's something reversing outside. Probably someone having shopping delivered because it's Saturday and everyone's home. You're probably going to hear all kinds of ambient noise. So a lot of her yarn is based on sort of kind of geeky stuff, board games and sci-fi stuff and TV shows and things. So Mazikeen I'm obsessed with. I absolutely love this colour. It's this one here at the end. This is the original Mazikeen I bought. Isn't that lovely? And then I went back to get some more, but she only had a different dye lot, which was this one. So actually you can see the 2 Mazikeens together there. Mazikeen 1 and Mazikeen 2. I love both of them. I'm still obsessed with this colour, and I can see me buying more of it. And then I wanted a 3rd one, but she didn't have any the 3rd time. So I bought this one, and it's a one of a kind, and I think it was called Coffee. So I'm striping them, which is making it quite interesting to knit, because obviously I don't have any just long, boring sections, because I've always got, every 26 rows, I change the stripe. So I've done the body to sit basically just on my hips, because I wanted it to be just a little throw-on cardigan. And I've done the arms, I've done the right arm up to where I think I want it to be. I want it to be just past my elbow. And the left arm, I'm nearly up to there. It's got a very slow and small decrease as you go. And then when I've done that, I'm going to make a decision about which ball of yarn I have enough of to do the rib that goes around the collar. I'm so pleased with it. I can actually put it on and it looks like a cardigan. I can't put it on over a jumper to show you because it's quite a snug fit. But I can't even tell you how much I've enjoyed this. It reminds me of the Easter holidays, because I'm showing you the wrong side. That's what it looks like, all striped. It reminds me of the Easter holidays. Dan and I made a conscious effort during the two-week Easter break to get up early every morning as we would normally. Before the girls got up, well, Dan had to get up anyway because he's working. But I was only working a couple of the days. We get up early, make a cup of tea. Speaking of which, I'm really enjoying my tea today. It must be the mug of dreams, making it taste better. So we get up early and we'd sit down, we'd watch Alaskan Homestead Rescue. And I'd knit on my cardigan, so it really holds some lovely memories. And it was during quite a difficult period of overwhelm and anxiety, and this has been a project that has, I don't know, a lot of memories and thoughts and stuff knit into it. I'm sure you know what I mean when I say that. And I love it, and I can't wait for it to be finished so I can wear it and show it to you. Hopefully next time. Maybe if I put down the paints, stop sketching for a bit and start knitting again, this will pick up momentum again. And that's all living in my bag that was made for me a couple of years ago by lovely Donna of In a Pickle Knitting. It's got hydrangeas on it, and this is a very special bag, and I love using this bag and having it on the sofa where I can see it. It's one of my very favourite project bags, and I have a lot of project bags, as I discovered when I amalgamated them all from all the bags and different places they were in around the house, as well as the ones that were in the wardrobes. I have a lot of project bags. A lot. I mean, not too many, because you can't have too many, but a lot. So that's the featherlight cardigan, featherweight cardigan. Right, mitten design, that's what I want to tell you about. I didn't mention this last time. So, let me just sort this out. Ooh. Oh no. Right, okay, so the bag, first of all, I love this bag. So this is the bag that is housing my mitten design project. And it was made for me as a little thank you from someone who appreciated my vlogs during lockdown. Her name's Callie. Thank you, Callie. And I absolutely love this bag. She made me another little one as well with a zip. And in here is my mitten design. Now, I never do anything quickly. I've been talking about this design for ages, and a seasoned crochet designer, which I am not. I'm not actually a crochet designer. The idea behind this is that I want to do a little tutorial or series, you know, a tutorial series that would be kind of for beginners starting out, you know, wanting to branch out a bit into patterns and making actual things rather than just swatches, and do a really nice detailed tutorial about how to do it. So I started to think, right, a nice simple granny square mitt, and I came up with a design that I really liked. And I wrote the pattern and I was really pleased with it, and it is this one. I shall show you. This yarn is gorgeous. Have we got them on the right way around? Yeah. So they're different on the front and the back, because I made I alternated the colours differently. So they look like this on the palm and they look like this on the back, or depending what hand you wear them on, it could be the other way around. I can't tell you what the yarn is because I don't think I have the thing. It was a gift from my friend Ellie, and it was left over for some socks that she made. It's so annoying because I do know what it's called, so if I can find the thing afterwards I'll put it on the screen. So I came up with it, make the granny squares easy, pick up the stitches around the bottom to do the, sew them together leaving a gap for the thumb, pick up the stitches around here, pick up the stitches here and do front post, back post, double crochet rib, which sounds complicated but is really easy once you know how, and then a very simple little edging for the thumb. And I was like, yay, I have my pattern. Now all I need to do is write it up, double check it, maybe get my sister to check it for me, and then I can start the tutorial. And then I put them on to test them out because it was cold and I was working at home in the kitchen and I was typing away, and then they began to bug me. Because, I don't know if you can see, the seam at the edge looks like that. It's a very neat seam, and that was something I wanted to achieve. Hang on, let me cover my face. There we go. I wanted to achieve a really neat seam, and I did, and I was like, great, this is how I want it to look, this is marvellous. But look, it's kind of sitting off centre, because obviously if you make two squares and fit them to a hand which is not square, or, you know, it's curved, it kind of pulls it round. So then I played about for ages, putting in extra stitches and extra rows and sewing it together differently, and I couldn't solve it, and it was annoying me. So even though I've got a lovely pair of mittens, it wasn't right for me as a pattern because it would annoy me as a simple pattern. So I went back to the drawing board. I'm going to put that over there now, because now I've shown you them, I can just start wearing them. Mind you, it's too warm to wear them now, but I went back to the drawing board and I've come up with another design. Just got to get it around the right way. I haven't done the thumb edging yet. That's the bit that I haven't come up with. Hope you can see this, because I made it a dark green, which is probably not too wise. So this is the final idea that I had, which is going to be a bit harder to show you because I did use a dark green, which is really lovely and a beautiful colour, and I will wear a lot, but it is not going to come out very easily on the camera. It's going to blow everything. That was kind of 80s video there, wasn't it? These are like 80s mitts. Yeah, so this time it's not granny squares. I've worked the whole thing in 19 rounds and there is no sewing apart from a little bit of sewing in of ends and sewing up a little gap. But there's also 3 different ways to kind of start the cast on edge. So yeah, so these, I'm really pleased with this now, because obviously it's not a square, I'm working in the round, or actually it's not in the round, it's in rows, backwards and forwards. And because I'm doing that, there's no risk of any seams working their way around the side of my hand. So I was really pleased with that. So it's 19 rounds, or more or less if you want to, you could start and them all, that you could make them elbow length, or you could make them so they cover your fingers. It's up to you. I will be explaining how to do that once I write up the pattern and in the tutorial. So I'm pleased with my design, really, really pleased. So now I'm going to make another pair in stripes. I found this yarn ages ago and talked about it and then never did anything with it. The variegated one is Little French Meadow and the blue is Mrs. S Creations. And I just thought they look so nice together. So I'm going to do another version stripey to sort of show how you can use colour to make them look a bit different. And then I'm going to write up the pattern and double check it, and then I'm going to do tutorial. I need to work out if I want to do an edge around the thumb or not. I'm not entirely sure it needs it. You could just leave it. I suppose I could do an edge but then give the option, couldn't I, just sort of say you can just leave it like that, or you can add an edge. Actually, looking at it, I think they do need an edge. But they're super comfortable for if you're working at home and it's cold, or in the office and you still want to be able to type. They're just supposed to be tiny little warmers rather than, full-blown winter things. So they don't, obviously they're quite gappy because it's Grammy stitch. And I'm really, really pleased with them. Then it occurred to me, I wasn't supposed to talk about the mitten design for so long. I've only written 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure I've already been going 10 minutes. Then it occurred to me that I have freakishly small hands. So I'd done the whole pattern based on what fits me really well, but it's a family thing. I have really small hands. So then it occurred to me that this is probably quite a small design for a normal person. So then I had to start working out how to do it slightly bigger. So this one here, which I have done a thumb on, but I think it's too big, but that might be because my hands are small and the mitten's bigger. This is why I'll never be a crochet designer properly, because I think about things too much. So this is the bigger version, so biggish. So I'm going to do 2 sizes as well in my pattern. There's going to be smallish and biggish. I haven't woven in the ends yet. And I've just done a little 2 round rib for the thumb. You see, I just think it's a little bit too much, so I might just bring that back a bit. I think it's a bit too bulky. I might just do a couple of rows of single crochet. Oh, I've got all fluff on me now. So yeah, that's where I am with the mitten design. I've just got to finalise it, hopefully over the weekend and next week. And then once I've done that and I know that I can write up a pattern, I might just get my sister and maybe like a crochet friend or 2 to just check that it all makes sense. And then I'm going to start filming tutorials for it. How exciting! And I'm pretty sure I'm going to call them the Heath mitts, because all through lockdown, a big feature of our life was walking on the heath just around the corner from us and all the heathland that surrounds us. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to call them the Heath mitts, even though Dan thinks I should call them Little Drops of Warmth. Okay. What else have we got? Oh yes, to frog or not to frog. Actually, this isn't a question. I've decided I am going to frog this, but I thought I'd just show you. Living in My Lovely Bag by Arminty. Arminty is a lovely friend of this podcast, and we've done a couple of swaps, and I think this was in one of the swaps we did. She lives in Canada, so it's got all there's owls on here, and then I've got a little Canadian flag here. And then inside, the lining is all maple leaves. It's really cute because it's white, but it's kind of 2 different shades of white. And I've got a blanket living in here. Oh, it is pretty though. Oh, well, I'll tell you why I'm going to frog it. It's a granny stripe blanket. It's something I've not done in ages, and it's for Phoebe. And the reason I'm going to frog it is it's too big. She recently adopted the multiplication square blanket that I made, which I showed last podcast. and it's perfect single bed size. She absolutely loves it. She drags it down to the sofa with her, she puts it on her bed every night. She doesn't need a gigantic blanket to drag about with her, and also it makes it really boring to work on, because look, so here we go, if I keep going like this, you can hear that rattling. I just hit a little bird ornament that's hanging on the wardrobe door. It is too long. Sorry, my throat is going. It is too long. So each row just takes forever to do. And I think by the time I'd finished, it would be such a massive thing and so heavy. And it would be, basically it would cover our king size bed. It's too big. So I think I'm going to frog it. I've got some beautiful yarn. I basically went through all my minis and pulled out all the really pastel-y, pinky, yellowy, greeny shades and put them all together. So they're really lovely colours, but I just think either I frog it and start again and make it smaller, or just frog it and forget it. I'm not sure. It's really windy. Yeah, so that's something I'm going to frog, which is going to be a bit painful, but I'd rather frog it than persevere with something that's just going to spend another 5 years hanging around like the multiplication blanket did. By the way, a few people have asked about my multiplication blanket. I will do a tutorial on that. I've just got to work out how I will do that, because I don't really want to make another one because it took forever to make the first one. So what I might do is make a very small version, like a lap blanket, or just make a doll's blanket for Phoebe, so that I can demonstrate the squares and then demonstrate how I sew them together and edge them. There is a tutorial on it on a blog that I set up really for the purpose of writing that tutorial, but when I went back to revisit it, it had all kinds of mistakes in it. So you might be able to make sense of it if you're a seasoned crocheter, but otherwise I would just stay away from it and wait until I've reworded it and done a video tutorial. But thank you for asking, and thank you for watching, by the way. I didn't say that at the beginning. There are so many other wonderful podcasters out there, and if you're here spending a bit of time with me, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I want to talk about some of the alongs that I've got going on. Well, some of. There's two alongs that we're doing, 2 make-alongs. First of all, I wanted to say that the Dodgy Bag Mail 2021 is in full swing. It started on the 1st of May and it's running until, oh, when's it running until? Can't remember. Is it the 7th of June? 4th of June? Can't remember. Let's face it, I'll probably shut the threads too late anyway, so sometime at the beginning of June. There's loads of bags popping up on the Chatter. And oh, by the way, we were originally going to have a Chatter thread in my group and an FO thread in Claudia's group. But Claudia's actually making a move away from Ravelry. And also we just thought, why are we doing it like that? It just seems a bit complicated. So the FOs and the Chatter thread is all one thread in my Ravelry thread now. So post your FOs there, Chatter there. We're each going to draw a winner from that thread. And we're also each going to draw a winner from the Instagram hashtag as well, which is on the screen now. So there's a chance to win up to 4 prizes. So that's really exciting. And my prizes are, I've got a lovely, lovely bag from a lady called Barbara, which I showed last time. And I'm going to make a dodgy bag as well. So if you win the Barbara bag, yay, and if you win the dodgy bag from me, I'm very sorry. And what else to say? Oh, I wanted to show you, when I was clearing out the wardrobes, which is fast becoming something like my catchphrase, when I was clearing out the wardrobes, I found one of my very first dodgy bags. And I wanted to show it to you because it is severely dodgy, and I thought we could all have a little giggle. And then I thought I'd show you my work in progress that I am making at the moment for the Dodgy Bag Mail. I also want to remind you that I have 2 tutorials on this channel, which I will link underneath, for how to make a dodgy bag. And honestly, they're quite detailed tutorials because I really wanted to show you how I do it, because I am not a sewer in any way, shape or form. Can I say that the only thing I can really make is bags, and they're really straightforward. And I have quite a busy life. I work and I do this, and I've got kids all over the place and stuff going on, and I filmed it as that was all going on to show you how to make it. And I've had really good feedback on those, and it's really lovely to see bags popping up that use the tutorial. So there's one with a drawstring and one with a zip, and I will link them underneath. I'm just going to plug my camera in. There we go. It's a sure sign I've been talking for too long, isn't it? Brevity is not a skill that I possess. Anyway, here's one of my original dodgy bags. I had actually looking at it, I really love it. It's a very tall and thin bag. I just realised I'm probably sitting too low in the screen. I hope I haven't been filming the whole time holding projects here where you can't see them. It's quite a long and thin bag, so it's not terribly practical. It's also got quite a narrow zip. I love this lobster fabric, and the blue here and the green on the inside, they're both organic cotton. But I lined it with a really kind of, can you hear? Crispy, this kind of crispy iron-on interfacing. It's a bit weird. And then I added these bonkers bright pink pom-poms, which are so bonkers. I love them. And I love the bright pink with that sort of teal colour. I do think that's nice. But it is a bit of a bonkers bag, and there's quite a lot wrong with it. But I didn't even remember I had it. I think I also did the box bottom too big, so that it kind of goes downwards, like in a triangle towards the box bottom, so it doesn't sit very well. But it's fun. I shall put it with my large collection of project bags, and maybe one day I shall use it. Or maybe I'll use it for something else. It might be handy sort of to keep things on when I'm packing to go on holiday or something like that. So that's one of my first dodgy bags, and it didn't put me off. I was just so pleased to have constructed something that actually functioned. So yeah. And now I'm making, so my whip at the moment for the dodgy bag now is a project bag, not for me, because I think we've established I don't need one, but for Dan. So he's been going on and on at me about me teaching him to knit, which I didn't think he would ever want me to do, because for years he told me he would never want to learn. But he's changed his mind, and he wants to learn to knit. So I've got him some yarn. Obviously I have an abundance of needles, and then I had some Star Wars fabric that was sent to me by lovely Loma and Echo, who are the Rogan Camp Girls podcast. At Christmas they did like a fabric advent, and there was some sort of already kind of part sewn together blocks of Star Wars fabric. So I put them to use to make Dan a Star Wars project bag. So this, I took two of the blocks, but actually this is just one piece of fabric, and then that is one of the blocks, and I've sewn those together to form one side of the bag. And then on this side of the bag is one block that they already did. So I just kind of made it all fit together. And I'm not going to box the bottom because I want to keep that nice design all around it like that. And then I've just got a grey lining, which is inside out at the moment. And then for the drawstring casings, because I'm not going to trust Dan with yarn and zips, I've just got this Star Wars fabric. So I've just got to sew the ends. And I'm making this all in accordance with my own drawstring bag tutorial that I've done. So I'm at the stage now where I'm about to sew along this double folded edge to make sure when the drawstrings are going in and out, you don't get any frayed bits. So that's where I am. That is my whip. And my next whip will be a bag that I want to make. I promised someone I'd make them a bag, and I want to make one for the prize as well. And I'm going to make that with this new pattern that I've been, I made it up, but I don't have any examples of it because I gave it as a gift. I wanted a pattern that would involve not having to box the bottom. And then when I was clearing out the wardrobes before, this is ages and ages ago when I'd started to do a bit of clearing out, I found a bag that belonged to Lilia that I'd made for her, and it had round bottom. And I don't think I used a pattern at the time, so I decided to copy that. I was really, really pleased with it as a little kind of useful little sock type bag. So I think I'm going to do that for the dodgy bag now. So if you're joining in, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to use the hashtag on Instagram. It's a really fun make along. It's quite quick. It's only a few weeks, well, you know, it's just over a month long, and everyone always really enjoys it. And it's all about just encouraging you to have a go at sewing a bag, because it really isn't that hard. And we embrace the wonky corners, and we embrace the, you know, missed stitches and the holes in the lining and all of that. And we just appreciate our bags for what they are. They don't have to be perfect because they're not shop made, they're handmade, and we're not experts. We're just enjoying ourselves and having fun. And, you know, perfection is overrated anyway. And the other along we've got going on, there's kind of an accident. I ran an Ami Along, an amigurumi along, which is crocheted 3D things, or knitted things are welcome too, and I ran that in the early part of the year, And it was so much fun that I just didn't want to stop it, so I've just kept the thread open. And I'm going to maybe draw a winner at the end of each quarter. So all the prizes for quarter 1 have been sent, and I'll draw another winner at the end of June. So keep posting your things. It's so nice to see them still popping up. We did a really fun montage of everything in the last episode, if you want to go and see. And if I can bring myself to do it again, I will at the end of June, but it was quite a lot of work. I might do it without the names, maybe. I could just do it as a picture montage, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it was, I'm loving it. So if you want to have a go at amigurumi, there is a lot of help in that thread, which I will link below on Ravelry, and you can use the hashtag, which is on the screen as well, because I'll draw, I include the Instagram hashtag when I'm drawing a winner. And it's just nice for me because I follow that hashtag and I can see what you're all making. And there's a lot of helpful people talking about things, or if they're stuck and sort of like, what do you think this means? And just brilliant things cropping up in that group. I love it. So if you want to join in with that, all the information is underneath. I also wanted to talk about some books and stuff because I ran out of time in the last episode. So I just wanted to briefly mention what I'm reading, what I have read, what I'm listening to, and so on. I also wanted to say that last night, it was Friday night, pizza and a movie night, we watched Yes Day, which I think was on Netflix. And it was really good. It was Jennifer Garner. I can't remember the guy's name that's in it. And it was a really, really funny film. The girls loved it, and now they want a Yes Day as well. So that's a good film if you've got kids. Even if you haven't got kids, it was quite funny. Okay, new book. I've had this in my podcasting box for a while. On my other channel, we did a vlog a little while ago about books on my bookshelf, and we did some book recommendations and things like that. And I talked about a book called Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry, and loads of people were like, it's part of a series, that book is part of a series, you need to get the other one. So I did. It's called The Giver. This is the book that comes before Gathering Blue, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I read Gathering Blue so long ago, I only have a sort of vague recollection of what it was about, but I remember I loved it so much, and I really like the oh, it's a film now, a major motion picture. It's a film as well. Anyway, it says Jonas lives safely within the community, a place where there's no war, no hunger and no pain. But when he's selected as the receiver of memory, he starts to discover dark secrets that lie beneath the surface of his perfect world, secrets that will lead him to undertake an incredible journey. And it's not too long either. Actually, maybe I'll take this on holiday with me, because we've just booked a holiday, an actual holiday. We're going to Scotland, going to Aberdeenshire in the second week of August. Couldn't be more thrilled, so excited. At last we have something to look forward to. Can you hear the wind? Oh my goodness, we need to get that chimney sheep up there. So The Giver, I'm going to start packing already. I'm currently reading The Valley of the Horses, which is the second book in after the Clan of the Cave Bearers, the Earth Children series by Jean M. A-U-E-L. How do you say that? Yule? Really loving it. Not reading it as fast as I have been previously because I've just been getting into bed and passing out, basically. I've been so tired lately. But I'm really, really enjoying the story. I'm kind of like, well, almost halfway through it, and she still hasn't sort of found, the main character hasn't found the other people that she's looking for yet. And I am getting a bit kind of like, come on then, when's she going to meet the other people? But I am really enjoying it. And then my sister sent me a book, which I'm probably going to read next, because she said it was one of the best books that she's read in a long time, and it's only on loan. I have to send it back. I'll go and get it. It's by Oyin Can Braithwaite. And it's My Sister the Serial Killer. She said it's one of these books that's written in such short bursts that you can't help but go, I'll just read one more bit. I'll just read one more bit. So then you end up reading like it really quickly. And she said it was just like nothing she'd ever read. So I thought she thought I would like it and sent it to me to read. So I'm probably going to read this after the one I'm currently reading because I'm intrigued by that one. I've also been listening to a lot of audiobooks recently. I've used up a load of my credits that I had and bought a load of autobiographies, and I've been very, very happily listening to them as I walk to the post office or as I'm doing housework or the washing up. It just makes mundane things seem so much more interesting. So I started off with Tom Allen, No Shame, which I absolutely loved. He's a very funny comedian, quite young, but the autobiography is very, very funny. And I really enjoyed listening to him read it. And after that, I went on to Lenny Henry, which was very, very strange because basically I think I know Lenny Henry because I grew up with him. I'm like, he's like a member of the family, surely. And then you realise I know nothing about the man, nothing. He's just always been there. And his voice is so familiar to me that it was just a pleasure to listen to. I felt like, like I say, a member of the family was just reading me a story. And I really enjoyed it. It was very interesting, some of the things that he'd done in his life that I didn't realise. And I think it only went up to a certain point as well. So I think he's going to write another one because it only went up to he's very well known for his work with Amnesty International and Comic Relief and all kinds of charity stuff that he does. And he hadn't even got to that, so I'm assuming there'll be another part to his autobiography. I really hope so, because I was well into it, and it ended, and I was a bit like, but I was reading that. I want to listen to more. So yeah, loved that one. And then I went from that, completely different, Michelle Obama, Becoming, and that was a bit of a culture shock to begin with, because I went from really familiar Brummie accent, British guy, to American accent, female, and someone I have no knowledge of at all, but I really enjoyed it. I really found it fascinating, her story, and the way she speaks and reads. She's got a very kind of, I don't know, lulling and sort of relaxing voice to listen to. I think it's so important with audiobooks that you enjoy the person's voice, and yeah, she's very, very good at speaking, and reading something. I was quite upset when that finished. I was quite upset. And then I went on to something completely different and a lot shorter actually, and quite an old book because it was written in 2010, was Michael McIntyre's autobiography, which I literally just walked around the house with my earphones on laughing because he's ridiculous and his life is ridiculous. And his performance of the book was very, very funny. It was just like listening to a stand-up show. And I loved it, absolutely loved it, but it was really quite short in comparison with the other books. So yeah, so those are 4 audiobooks that if you're interested in autobiographies, then that's 3 comedians and 1 American First Lady. I was going to say political figure, but she's not a political figure at all, is she? Yeah, American First Lady. And I loved every one of them. I'm still listening to Black and British on audiobook as well. I think I found my place now. It's a very long book, about 25 hours, and I lost my place when I updated my phone. But I think I'm back on track now. I'm also back in the office once a week, and from next week I'll be back 2 days a week. So I've got time now in the car to listen to it again, and I'm still loving it. Yeah, so that's everything I wanted to say, I think, about books. I just like to share that because I really love getting book recommendations. I actually put a note up on Instagram and loads of people gave me some really good ideas. I've got this long list of stuff that I've been writing down. I wanted to move on to, and finally, okay, I wanted to tell you a few things about the Etsy shop, that, about pins and so on. And then Rel, who is Dabbling Hook, tagged me in, what's the tag? 10 crochet hook questions tag. So should I do that now or should I tag it onto the end? I might do it now, and then when I'm editing it, if it seems too long, I'll cut it out and just do it as a separate little video. Maybe I'm supposed to do it as a separate video if it's a tag. No, I'll tag it onto the end of this video, and like I say, if it's like turning out to be 2 hours long, I'll just do it separately. So I wanted to say thank you to everyone who ordered Phoebe's tree pins. They are now sold out. Just picking up the one that I've saved for me. This is Phoebe's tree pins. Have happy adventures. And I don't know if you can see, but the stars are glittery. So Phoebe, my 10-year-old daughter, designed this pin because she really wanted to get involved in the Etsy shop, and I just thought her little design was so lovely. And then we had the help of a lovely lady, a graphic designer on Etsy called Michelle. Okay, so I was just looking up what the name of her shop was because I wanted to let you know, just because she's got some really interesting stuff for sale, and she does a lot of custom illustrations and stuff. So she helped us to get the design to where we really wanted it to be and sharpen it all up ready, because she knows what they need, you know, when you send it off to the badge company. Her shop is called Heartfelty Shop. I'll link to her underneath. She's based in Barnsley here in the UK. And she was, I couldn't recommend her highly enough. She was absolutely brilliant. She was quick, she was efficient, she was professional, and she just got what we wanted straight away. So we were really, really happy with that. Or more importantly, Phoebe was. So she's been completely involved, Phoebe. She's the one that's designed the packaging, the pin, and everyone that's ordered a pin so far, Phoebe has parcelled it up and written the little thank you note. So she's been absolutely thrilled that you've been buying them. And because they sold out so quickly, we've ordered another batch. They won't be here until June, but as soon as they are, I'll let you know, because I've had a lot of questions about when they'll be back in stock. Something that will be in stock a bit sooner though, is we've done a badge version. Here it is. The colours are slightly different. They're a bit lighter because that just works better on this kind of badge. And again, absolutely delighted with these. So these will be quite a low cost option, and they will be here in a couple of weeks. So I'll let you know when they're in the shop, or keep an eye on the shop, and these will be available. I ordered quite a few of them. Focus on me please, camera. Thank you. Because I just thought they'd be so good for, like, you know, young children or classes or brownie packs or scout packs and stuff like that. I just thought they, you know, going on pack holiday, or I don't know. I just think that they have a variety of uses with the message that she's put on them. So they'll be available in the next couple of weeks. And I also branched out and got some postcards done of my Little Drop of Wonderful design. I don't know why I've got to. It looks like this. They're glossy, and they're £1. Or you can buy 5 for £4. And these have been really popular too. So I've ordered a load of these. Yeah, really, really fun little things to send to people as a... Oh, my camera's overheating now. Gonna have to shut up. Yeah, so they're available too. Isn't that amazing? I feel like a proper grown-up shop person now. I've got things in an Etsy shop. I'm a grown-up. Okay, hopefully we have enough time before my camera explodes to do the crochet 10 crochet hook questions tag. So I was tagged by Rel. Oh, am I supposed to tag someone else? Well, I'm not sure. Oh, now I'm on the spot. Okay, I tag Claudia, Crochet Luna, and I would like to tag, well, I don't know if she watches, but if she does watch, I will tag Kalisha of the Quirky Monday podcast, and I will tag, oh, we need a UK one. I will tag Sandra of Cherry Hop. There you go. But you don't have to do it. But I really wanted to, because I've never been tagged in anything. I was like, oh my goodness, how exciting. So the first question, what is your favourite brand of crochet hook? Now, first of all, I wanted to show you, I keep all my hooks, and I can tell you these are all my hooks because I've just sorted out the wardrobes, and I collected them all together in one place, or 2 places. I've got a hook roll, which I've had forever. This is from Rachel of So Ray, my lovely friend Rachel. And I bought this years ago, and it is just as lovely as the day I bought it. And I use it constantly. There she is. I'm not sure if she still sells them, but I love it. I love this crochet roll. So I've got tons of hooks in here, and then the rest of them live in a lobster pencil case. Because why not? And I don't have a favourite brand, basically. I use all kinds. I could tell you that my least favourite one is this one, which is an Addy colour. Is it Addy colour? I'm not sure. It's an Addy one. This is my least favourite. It's just a bit weird, and it comes undone, and I didn't really like the tip of it. I'm more than happy. This is a Knit Pro Waves. I quite like Knit Pro Waves, but I don't like whatever the material is they use to make the handle. My hands get very hot, very sweaty, and this seems to set that off a bit. And sometimes, depending on the colour, I've got a black one. It's a different colour depending on the size. It kind of goes sticky. and things get stuck to it. So I'm not a big fan of those. I love just normal ones, just aluminium ones. I'm quite happy holding that with no cushioning at all. But probably if I had to choose, I would probably go for the Clover Soft Touch, which is this one, because you've got that nice ergonomic grip, and it's a very sturdy kind of plastic, and it's not got that kind of soft, funny rubbery stuff that makes my hands go funny. So that's the Clover Soft Touch. So probably I would say the Clover Soft Touch would be my favourite, but I am not fussy at all. I will crochet with anything. I've got a lot of tiny ones as well, and all of my tiny ones, like this is a 1mm one, and I do a lot of stuff with 1mm hooks. See how tiny it is, and that's a Clover Soft Touch, and it makes it a lot easier to deal with when you're doing really tiny crochet. So that's question number 1. Question number 2. What is your favourite hook size? Oh my goodness. I don't know if I have a favourite hook size, but the one I use most is probably a 3mm. So it'd be about 2.5mm for amigurumi if I was using a fingering weight yarn, or 3mm. So I'd say probably around the 325, 3. Yeah, probably about 325 would be my favourite. That's the one I use most for things that are sort of fingering weight crochet projects. But my favourite hook is whatever the hook that is required. It's whatever hook gets me gauge will be my favourite hook of the day. Do you prefer tapered or incline? I don't know what that means. So I don't know. How do you grip your hook? Pencil grip or knife grip? How do I grip my hook? Knife grip. That's a knife grip, isn't it? Yeah, knife grip. No, I couldn't crochet like that. I know a lot of people do. But no, I'm definitely a knife grip person. Does the style of hook dictate how you crochet? No. Unless I really hate the hook and I feel miserable about it. But then I'll just get rid of it and use a different one. So no, it doesn't. Do you prefer ergonomic hooks or regular hooks? Okay, so again, I'm honestly not that fussy. I would happily crochet something for hours with this type of hook, which is a regular aluminium hook, which is just straight down. You always get that little indent to place your thumb, and otherwise it's just straight. And there's a lot to be said for working with a hook like this. I do find them very comfortable to hold, and I work with them quite well. But at the same time, it's nice to have, oh, mind you, having said that, this is quite a lot shorter. So actually, I wonder if I might prefer a regular one because it's got that length rather than being shorter. Oh, that's funny, isn't it? But it's shorter than that one as well. Oh, okay, so we've just established then I actually prefer a longer hook. I think I need to investigate hooks more. I've never tried a tulip and do a proper sort of test of this. I've never really thought about my crocheting tools. I just kind of select whatever I've got and get on with it. Yeah, so undecided on that. I like ergonomic hooks, but apparently I prefer if they were longer. What are your thoughts on light up hooks? My first thought is there are light up hooks? I had no idea. Have you ever used a hook with interchangeable heads? No. If so, what are your thoughts? I've never used one. Number 9, do you like projects that require small stainless steel hooks or larger hooks? If I had to choose, I would always go for the small and fiddly. I do like the small stainless steel hooks, but a large hook project is fun, and I do have a lot of large hooks. I've got up to a 9mm one here, and I've got larger than that. I think I've got 12, 15, 20. But yeah, I'd always go more small and fiddly with crochet. If you were only allowed to use 2 hooks for the rest of your life, what size and brand would they be? Now, obviously I'm not loyal to any brands, so that wouldn't really matter to me. So we're going to take brands out of the equation. But probably, having said that, yeah, we're going to take brands out of the equation and say that I would probably just go for a basic hook so that I've got that length, and I would go for a 3mm, so I've always had something to crochet quite tight, and a 4mm, but I can't really tell you why. Quite interesting. I'll post the questions underneath so that if anyone that I've tagged wishes to join in, you can screenshot the questions as I have done. And thank you so much, Rel, for tagging me in that. It was really good fun. I really enjoyed hearing about your hooks and how you store them. And I mean, I think I've got a lot of hooks because I've got my roll of hooks here. And then in the lobster's belly, he's eaten all of these. Actually, do you know what? I'm just looking at this. I have to say that this is one of the most comfortable hooks that I have ever used. Phoebe bought me this. It's proper chunky Fimo one. It's 3.5mm hook. It says best mum ever on it. I think it was my birthday or Mother's Day. Oh, it's so cute. And this, I really enjoyed working with this. It's by a company called, oh, what were they called? I'll look it up and put it on the screen because I can't remember, but they're based in Cornwall. Yeah, so I do like a Fimo covered hook. I've done a few Fimo covered hooks myself. I shall show you. I found some Fimo quite recently and I was just messing about. So I've done a hook that looks like it's just made of granite. And I did like a little raised bit around the edge there. I was quite pleased with that, and that feels really nice to hold, and it's a good length as well. Oh, maybe we're going down the route of I really like Fimo covered hooks. And then I did this one. So again, it's granite, and then I did roses. No, not roses. I decided, I think at the time, I was going for roses and failed, and decided it was a Christmas hook now, and these are poinsettias. On granite, because, you know. So that's another little one that I made. I just really like the granite look, Fimo. And then there's another one here that I did ages ago, along a similar vein with the red flowers around it. I should do that more often. I enjoy doing it. I'm not very good at it, but I do enjoy doing that. And I do enjoy using a hook with that Fimo on it. I like the feel of it. So there you go. That is my crochet hook 10 questions. I hope you enjoyed that little bit at the end there. And thank you for watching. Hopefully this isn't going to be too long, but let's face it, it always is. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another update and hopefully a finished cardigan. Let me know your thoughts on all the questions that I've asked about projects and frogging and mohair and other things. Tell me what your favourite crochet hook is, and let me know if you're joining in with the Dodgy Bag now and the other alongs. And just tell me how you are, how you doing, what you're making. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. It's always really lovely. I know it sometimes takes me a while to get around to reading them, but I do really like it. Anytime I'm in a waiting room or like find myself 5 minutes over a cup of tea in the morning, just love to catch up with you. So thanks for watching. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Until then, happy knitting and happy crocheting. Bye.